joining us and welcome sports fans. You are now watching the Baseball Hippy Show, Baseball Hippy Show, Baseball Hippy Show. Wow, it's the Baseball Hippy Show. Welcome all, it's just love and baseball. Just love and baseball. Just love and baseball. Baseball Hippy Show. Welcome all, it's just love and baseball. Baseball Hippy Show. Welcome all, it's just love and baseball. Baseball, just love and baseball. Just love and baseball. Baseball, just love and baseball. Just love and baseball. Baseball.
Well.
On All Hallows Eve, we rejoice. The craft.
Spooky.
Your three favorite middle-aged witches and warlocks. This is the Baseball Hippie Show here on October 30th, Wednesday, Season 5, Episode Infinity. It's over, boys.
It's all
What's over?
over.
All over. 2024.
The baseball season, bro.
Oh, the baseball season.
He said what's over.
JK.
The podcast.
Just
The
catching the
podcast
fans
is
out
over,
there.
Tobe. The podcast is over.
Listen, man, baseball's never over, man. Straight to the cage
True.
after. If I'm the Yankees, I'm going straight to the cage after this, dude.
Yeah, a lot of footage to go through. A lot of things to work on.
Yikes.
Big
Yeah.
yikes. Spooky yikes.
Spooky
Man.
yikes.
I'm not gonna toot my own horn too quickly in that, but coming out with the All-Star Game commemorative batch. This is straight from All-Star Weekend 2 years ago. I don't know why I drink out of
Premium. It's got a nice little ASMR ice shake in there. I
sounds
like it.
nice.
This. Boom to match the hat. Got the
MS.
The hat. Hey. Yeah, man. So, the World Series ended about 15 minutes ago, it feels like. And 2024 is the Los Angeles Dodgers year to finally win it and not antiquated a redacted season. Because they will say that the 2020 World Series counts. But baseball at large likes to rub that in their eye. A lot has gone down in the last 5 years. We'll get into it. But before we get into it, as always on the Baseball Hippie Show, we get a round table on how our week's been. How we doing? Brownbear, why don't you start us off, man? How you doing this week, man?
Doing good. It's been a good week, man. Fun postseason overall. Glad it ended on a competitive note. I was worried the biggest moment of the postseason, I'm sure we'll get to it, was going to be some fan trying to steal a ball from Mookie Betts, and I'm kind of glad it went out on a better note than that. But yeah, man, good week. That's all I got.
Same. Blitzball's been over, so I know things are probably slowing down in your world. All three of us got to start thinking of hobbies. Every time this ends, I'm always like, what did you do before this? Tober, what's happening?
Brother, Brown Bear, it's great to be here. What a nice, another wonderful season, 2024 in the books. Shout out FanDuel. We all bet on the Dodgers. We all made a lot of money this year, man. And we told you, man, this is why you followed us, dude. This is why we get paid the big bucks. And by that, I mean, I'll say one thing for sure, two things for certain. You can't piss off the baseball gods, man.
No,
We always talk
No.
about this.
he's right.
You make a shitty mistake equals a RBI. And for anyone watching that doesn't understand, just rewatch some highlights of this World Series, man. It's tough. It's tough. But great to be here. I've had a long week. We're getting the bread. We're bringing home the bacon. Did a couple openings in a row. I'm not used to waking up early like you boys. So
He's
I'm a little
loopy,
loopy.
everybody.
I'm a little loopy. But look, I got this Hawaiian T-shirt. See, I do have a good story about this. See, I'm not gonna disclose where I worked at, but there was a guy who used to come in who worked for the Mariners.
Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's.
Don't they wear Hawaiian shirts there? Yes,
Okay,
right?
cut that out. Cut that out. Cut that out, dude. Cut that out. They would not like this, dude. They're not big baseball fans there. But yeah, this guy would come in, say he worked for the Mariners high up. Turns out he was doing food distribution stuff. I would try to, I was like, what's good with the Mariners behind the scene? He's like, bruh. He's like, fuck the Mariners. I don't even fuck with baseball. I was like, okay. I was like, whatever. I get it. Next thing I know, this guy gets fired. Like 6 months later, comes in 2 boxes. Every single promotion the Mariners have done in the past 2 years. Drops them on, I'll say the table, not the bar, because I don't work at a bar for anybody watching. But we're like, whoa, what's good with this? He's like, take it all. I'm moving to New York. Fuck the Mariners. So we're like, damn. I was like, hell yeah, dude. Guy sucks. Anyways, look through the boxes.
We've heard about this guy in the pod. He's your least favorite customer, I think.
Least fave, dude. Least fave.
So he's gone?
He's gone, dude.
Oh, wow.
And it's funny because he went to New York because New York fans, I'm sorry he went there because he's your problems now. And it's probably why the Yankees lost. So it's all connected. But yeah, there's a couple Hawaiian shirt giveaways. There's a couple Ichiro bobbleheads, Egger bobbleheads, a couple signed bats.
You got this in the pile of Mariners giveaway gear.
Just saying, man. Shout out. Sometimes your enemies, you want to keep your enemies close. I don't think that's how the phrase goes, but something like that. Yeah. But yeah, things are good. It's great to be here, guys, man.
Well, nice. Good to have you. Yeah. Yeah, man. Another great season. I had something to say, but I kind of forgot it. So, yeah, man. I think we're all a little loopy after that long season. Short World Series. Long season.
Gotta have Tommy Edman vibes, man. Right now with the backwards hat.
Oh, with the haircut, probably. Yeah, Tommy Edman.
Yeah.
Like, he cuts it short.
Looks nice, man. Shout out Tommy Edman.
Yeah. Shout out Tommy Edman. He had a good series. He won MVP for the National League Series, so he gets a shout out. We'll get into that here in a sec. But yeah, that leads us to our shout outs, man. I think this week I wanted to shout out, even though they lost, Jazz Chisholm's World Series chain that I just noticed in the last game. But yeah, he's got the 96 World Series chain that says hometown. And yeah, how do we feel about that? That's pretty fire, man. I thought it said World Series.
Me too. I'm glad. I'm very, very glad Jesse brought this into the scenario because I was wondering. And I almost don't think this was worn game 1 or 2 because it really shone through tonight, and I don't remember seeing this, which is an interesting move by him. But
well, it says home team. It says home team on it, so I wouldn't be surprised if he only put it on for when they went back to New York.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, okay. That is a great point, and I do respect that. I love that. It's a bust down. It's a classic piece. So what's good? So what you think, Jay? You think Verdugo's like? Why can't I wear my bust down?
I think
Verdugo,
he could.
that's where his his chain on too is just tucked in.
Have you seen that? I forget. There's some interview show where they interview Jazz about all his chains and like ask who the iciest players in sports are and all that.
What's his top 5?
It's like John Morant and shit. I can't remember who. I think he's like LeBron. Probably has some crazy jewelry that no one will ever see because he just keeps it to himself. But yeah, it's like all basketball players and then himself.
True.
But he was his boy. He's like braggy. He's like basketball players can't wear that shit on the court. He's like, I can play my game in my ice.
Yeah, true.
He was also like hyping up all. He has like anime chains and stuff. He's got like the hat from One Piece made into a chain, and
Yeah.
he's got his like anime cleats and stuff.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, he deemed himself the
love that.
swaggiest dude in the league, which I feel like is kind of like where, like, he had a lot of hate coming this year, but his swag meter is high. I will give
He's
him that.
really
I mean, we're
swaggy,
down
but I feel
now.
like claiming to be the swaggiest kind of takes away from your swag factor a little bit.
Dude, hey, great point. But I will say, this is why I love the trade in the beginning. Because there's one city that wants the Stars and can handle the Stars, and it's the New York Yankees. And so I thought it was a great fit. But at the same time, he added on some shit on this World Series and in the series before that I thought was good for the middle of the lineup.
No, he had a good postseason. He was honestly he like lived up to the midseason, the trade deadline move that the Yankees made for him, because I think overall he had a decent season, but he got a lot of hate for being on the show cover last year, and he had an awful year. And I think we've already talked about it, but he was like rated by the rest of the league as like the most overhyped player in the league. So good for him,
right?
For showing up.
I do remember that. And Jess, I have a question for you, because I think when you were in early high school or middle school, I think you made a transfer from the outfield to third base. How was that for you compared to Jazz Chisholm's?
Yeah, that never happened, but more like third base to outfield, man.
Okay.
I was playing
similar though.
No, I went out pretty rough in high school because I was just getting worse and worse. It was not good. But
well, we'll go back to middle school. What third base? That's just, he stepped up at third base. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean it's
Mookie's probably the only other person I know who does that though. He goes outfield to infield. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for like a star player, it's pretty good. But
And Ketel Marte did it too a bit. I think he's back in the infield now, but he played center field for a while for the Diamondbacks.
There we go.
Yeah.
Those are 3 studs.
Yeah,
You're a good third baseman, man. I remember going to your games. You got an arm.
Thanks, man.
Still do.
Thank you.
Hot corner boys. I played third base too.
Yeah, man. Maybe one day I'll pick up the hot corner again. But for now, I'm just baseball podcasting about psychedelia, baseball, and denuclearization. Hey, man, what you're saying is interesting because you're saying New York is big enough to house the Stars, and then I'm all over the chat talking about this guy would look good in pinstripes. This guy would look good in pinstripes. But I think that it segues nice into what really this World Series exposed is that the Yankees are not prepared for these moments. They're not. Boone's days in New York are just numbered. I got to say that. I know it's crazy to think that you can take a team to the World Series and get fired next year, but I could definitely see him getting fired in the next year or two. But
I think he's been getting like chance after chance, sort of. And it's like, I feel like if they didn't make the postseason or if they got eliminated early, I think he definitely would have been out. And so now it's like,
you're right.
How many chances do we give you to like not win the championship essentially? So
I said the same thing about Dave Roberts when he lost a few of those. But see, that's what I'm trying to say is like there was a very interesting piece of this World Series where it felt like this Dodgers just looked like a championship team, which was the single thing missing from all of their playoff runs, minus, again, the COVID year. But I have seen the Dodgers make it to the playoffs like every year for like 10 years and always fail. It's like the big joke, them getting bounced in the first round. And to think that they almost got bounced by the same team in the Padres, that would have been crazy.
Yeah.
And then when it's all said and done, it's like they not only look like the best team in the league, they look like easily the front runner to win the World Series next year. And I mean, you could say the same thing about the Rangers last year. You know, like teams usually when they win the World Series look like the best team. It's not a crazy equation, but it's just interesting because I feel like for Mariners fans out there, baseball is this game where you kind of got to take your lumps and you got to kind of have the core group. I give a lot of credit to the Dodgers. Roberts,
well,
Mookie.
Can I,
you know,
on that note, Jess, can I ask you guys a question where it's going back to Aaron Boone keeping his job? In our experience as Mariners fans, it's like that first game, you bring in Nestor Cortez. Obviously, we're biased, so it's shades of bringing in Robbie Ray. Now, we've talked about for years. Now, is that the GM? Is that the owner? Is that who does that fall on? Is that Boone? So for this instance, I mean, it might just be a yes or no answer, and we'll never really know. But I'm just curious on your guys' opinions. Like, you really like? Do we think Boone was the one to be like, or do we think because Robbie Ray's a different type of mentality where I think he's a dog, so he'd be like, oh, anyone who pops up, give me the fucking ball, like da-da-da, and he'd punk service or something. Well, I don't think Nestor. I think Nestor's a dog. I don't think he's like in the room,
the
like give me the ball.
We know I mean, maybe it's not a fact, but it's pretty well known. That was a pre-game plan, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So,
yep.
Bueller one, he just went on national TV and said, "Yeah, that was the first time I've thrown a ball today. I didn't," because they were like, "Did you know you were pitching in this game?" And he was like, "Nah," and like giggled about it. So I was like, that's a little wild. I'm sure he might have had a pregame conversation about it. But just in general, when you're pushing all the right buttons, I don't know if it's just winning and then it becomes placebo that we're like Dave Roberts is such a perfect handler, or if it's hand in hand, or if it's that the Dodgers finally have enough experience that they are dangerous because now they're the best team in the league and they're kind of like the composed champion style of play that the Yankees, I hate to say it, but this is going to be a travesty that tomorrow morning in New York, man.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did they lose this game, the not running to first, the throwing it to third, they just so many little gaffes. And this is what I was going to say when you said this, is we got a name for this. Me and my friend Casey, shout out to Case out there, CP out in Vancouver. Call this cracks. And Tobe, you know this one from Griffey, N64 Griffey, shout out.
Oh, I know, baby.
We call this cracks in the flood wall.
Floodgates.
First you get an air, then they start saying floodgates. Then you get bases loaded, then someone hits a fucking grand slam or whatnot. That's not what happened tonight, but like that, right? You know, Teo goes deep, Freddie goes deep. Floodgates open. Then I'm getting memes, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation memes from my, old friends. So it's like, man, it's a classic. Is there anything more, Tobe, what you're saying about these making mistakes, unforced errors leading to runs is as old as baseball. It is essentially the number one of the psychedelia realm, the mistos. It has created so much drama. So Tobe, you're spot on, I gotta say, about that.
And I gotta shout both of you guys out equally, because you guys have put me on. You guys have put me on to the knowledge of understanding the mystical, paganistic nature the nature versus the man. You can't. Everyone wants to overtake nature. You can't. Nature is where we all came from.
Meteorology, man.
That's all I'll say, because
Weather
I'm
patterns.
just a young novice in this, so I'd love to hear Brown Bear's take on this, because I just threw it out there, and you guys have been saying this every single time, and it is when he didn't run to first. I mean, obviously there's other errors, but when he didn't run to first, I was watching it with my beautiful girlfriend, Steph, and I turned to her, I said, the game's over, bro.
And they're down 2-5. And they're down 2-5.
I was like,
yes,
bro, I was like, you
That's a
can't.
baseball fan.
I was like,
even
you
Yankees
can't.
fans,
You
can feel it. It starts right here, because Yankees fans have seen enough playoff baseball that they've been on the other side of this in the 90s, so they know what this is. So yeah, Brown Bear, tell them, because today was a classic.
You can't disrespect the game like that and expect to win. The untangibles, as intangibles, as Jess likes to call it. You can't fuck with the baseball gods. And yeah, the line of errors, the drop ball in center field, the weird throw to third base, followed up by and it's not just the not running to cover first. It's his it's almost seems arrogant, like pointing at Rizzo, like, bro, why aren't you covering first? And then he's like, I'm sure a lot of the anger on his face in that moment was anger with himself, but he just seemed like pissed off at Rizzo about not covering first when he's fielding a ball at deep first base. Like, what? That's little league shit. You learn that in T-ball, bro. When the first baseman's fielding the ball, the pitcher covers first. Fundamentals.
Yeah. And I hate because, again, they lost, so it's easy to say this, but where is the clubhouse camaraderie, dude? Because he looks up and Cole's not running, so then his body gets all dejected, like, oh, fuck it, if you're not gonna run, then I'm definitely not diving into first. Because it almost felt like he could have got the out, but when he looked up and saw Garrett Cole wasn't running, he was like, fuck this. If you're not running, then neither am I. And that, to me, is the opposite of how the Dodgers showed up. They were like, I got your back. You know what I'm saying? There's this
is why they pitchers have this interesting pendulum swing where you see people talking about, oh, pitchers are soft, but then we talk about that video of I'm so sorry that I'm forgetting his name, but the guy who retires early because his fucking arm,
Sandy Koufax.
Koufax, absolute legend. I'm so sorry I forgot his name. It's on me. But you hear him talking about it where it's pendulum swinging, where back then pitchers are absolute dogs. So what we were talking about, I'm like, you see your defense falling, 2 errors, 1 error, obviously, maybe the throw, whatever. And I'm like, if I'm in a pitcher's mentality, I think I'm going 7. I think I'm going 8, which obviously Cole told him because Boone left him in for 2 innings afterwards. He's like, if these guys can't get fucking outs, I'll run the first, second, and third and home. I'll get every fucking out if I'm a pitcher. Fuck the defense. I'll get everyone fucking out. That's why I thought it was interesting, because I'm like, Cole, it's like he's like the guy who's like, well, I'm just going to do my job and I'm going to put up these numbers, and if everyone else doesn't do their job, then it's not on me, which is kind of where I'm like, you're a good representation where I think why people think pitchers are getting softer and softer, because it's and I'm not to hyper expose this scenario, but I'm like, it's you are the person on defense. Everything goes through the pitcher.
Okay.
It's
I hear what you're saying.
Also, let me just preface, I'm a Garrett Cole hater. Even by the end of that inning, I was like, damn, I wouldn't even wish that on my worst enemy.
You're saying he doesn't have the dog in him, even though he brought a no-hitter in.
No, I think wait, let me, sorry to cut you off, but to clarify, I think he has the dog in him, but I think he does the thing, and it happens in football a lot, where they'll be like, I'm the only one with the dog in me, and y'all are fucking up right now. where it's like the real champions are like, I don't even call out my teammates on no shit because I go and get it.
Well,
I get the bag. Yeah.
I'll take this
what
from
I'm
like
saying?
the
Yeah.
NBA, but like, and it goes in baseball too. It's like you're only as good as your role players in the end. Like all hands on deck
True.
on a championship team. So
Shout
yeah,
out Tommy Edman. Shout out Tommy Edman.
Yeah, exactly. And Bueller. I
Yeah.
agree with you, but I'll say, damn, Kopech has a ring now. That is just crazy. He made a bad play, but I think what you're trying to say is that it's just when when the lights get bright, you tend to see these mental mistakes as like it's it's a lot going on. There's a lot of like it's 2 outs, bases. It's like it's kind of like yes, he made the wrong play. I agree with Brownbear. I thought he was a little arrogant about his reaction.
Yeah, the
But in the end, it's like a story of all the Yankees, man. Like they all didn't have the dog or whatever you want to call it. Because
they kept persisting throughout the game.
Seasoned. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna add on to that. It kept persisting throughout the game. Beyond that, it was the catcher interference followed up by the third pickoff attempt when that results in an automatic balk if you don't get the guy out. Like
wild.
Absolutely,
that is grandest stage.
Am I
the
tripping?
Throw to third was crazy too. Why not just go for 2-1, and then you have the double play and a runner on third?
Yeah.
It's like,
it's just like trying to be, maybe not trying to be bigger than the game, but playing bigger than just the fundamentals of the game. You're trying to do too much. Like just,
And the reality is, the Dodgers have, to me, been kind of known to do that in the past. So I feel like sometimes experience breeds this type of calm. Again, I don't know because I don't play, but like, I mean, on my third base days, we never really had a game that big.
Come on,
never had a game that big, but man, the leaks in the floodgates were just. I mean, honestly, you said you looked at your girlfriend and said, "Oh, damn, this game's over." I looked at my girlfriend at game 1 when he brought in Nestor Cortez in the 9th and said this series is over. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you make a bad move and then it becomes a bad move. That's the true meteorology there. That's the true, effect where it's like that shit wears on you. I think like the Robbie Ray shit sunk our series. It's like stuff like that.
And then that it's like the throw 3. I mean, this is, you guys don't need to answer, but I haven't even seen. I've never seen that all season. Like that's so head games. It's so weird.
No,
like that was
they'll go to the lead runner on a tie game. You'll see.
No, you mean the third pickoff attempt.
No, I mean the third pickoff. Sorry.
Same.
Yeah, my bad.
Same.
That's so. It's such a.
I don't think I've ever
It's
seen
it's such a rule when all the rule changes happened last year that I think everyone agreed on, because 8 pickoff attempts, especially in a World Series, is insane. It ruins the game. So it's like everyone agreed on.
I think in the World Series you should have as many as you want, and then all the other games it should be.
Okay. I actually, that's another debate. I actually kind of agree on you there.
Yeah.
But I was just gonna say, same thing. Looked at my girlfriend and, guys, I don't even have a girlfriend, dude. I'm an imaginary world, bro. I'm watching the World Series in space, dude. I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. But I think it's one of those things. And the point I was trying to make is, and obviously we're a Mariners podcast, so everything relates back. You tell the guys before the season, no more strikeouts. You tell the Yankees before this series, you guys suck at fucking infield defense and you suck at running. Guess what happens? You guys fucking blow it. It's like Dave Roberts, and not to be on his fucking dick ride shit. It's like he's like experienced, came in chill. He's like, y'all fucking da 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 da. I'll handle the bullpen on my end. It's like I think and I don't think it falls on Aaron Boone because actually, whatever, but I think the Yankees themselves looked in the mirror and said, these are the things we are bad at. And I have never seen a team in probably all of sports in a championship series get exposed on every single detail that they're bad at, like the Yankees did. And it might be a fact that because we watched John Boy, so they kind of highlight what they're bad at. And it was like every single fucking thing that they said they're bad at was just like, boom. And I was like, whoa, that's fucking tough, dude. That's tough to watch because as a fan of that team, I can just feel it's like you've watched it all season. And you're like, damn, the things that we lost on are the things we're bad at all fucking season. That's rough. So,
Yeah.
I just wanted to put that out there, my bad. Yeah.
No, it is rough, and in particular the pickoff thing. To go back to that for a second, it's just it wasn't a competitive pick. It wasn't like, oh, I think I got him, I'm just gonna like choose to go over there. I feel like generally that's something that's like called by the catcher or like called from the dugout is to do a pickoff. So for Weaver at that point to be just going off book and like throwing over there again, like I'm curious what happened there, or was it is it Wells? Well, it was Boone, but no, I was thinking maybe more Wells, the catcher.
And who was on base? You guys just gotta get that.
Was it
because they did pinch run, so it was
Chris Taylor?
I always forget that too. Yep, Chris
I think
Taylor.
they pinch ran Chris Taylor for
funny looking dude.
Yeah, but it wasn't like it would have made sense to me more if it was like a close play at first. It was like one of the it was like a keep him close move. So I'm curious who, and so the keep him close move I guess doesn't seem to me like a call that the pitcher is making. I feel like if the pitcher was making the call to throw over there, it's because he saw something, he needs to get it, like he's just taking a shot on it. But the keep him close move seems like something that's like called by the catcher. I don't really know. I'm curious what happened there. And
totally agree.
Kind of crazy to me that happened in the World Series.
I mean, total to me reminds me. I mean, there's this game. I'm so happy, my boys, that we're just doing this fresh off the game because there's so many weird things that happen in this game that loving just analyzing all this because that to me is like little league-ish where it's obviously like I totally agree with you, Brownbear. I don't even think it's on him. I think someone else called that, but it's someone getting lost in the moment. And for someone like Luke Reaver, I think he had a great series the entire series. So I think for the Yankees clubhouse and the fans, that's tough to watch because you're like, this is the guy who has randomly we've brought in and has been kind of lights out, and him and Christian, what's his name, Junior. So they're like, for him to do a mental mistake like that, which could have been on someone else, it's like, and then he walked the next guy. It's tough to see. And then to me, that play overshadowed the Ohtani fucking call on him hitting the catcher's mitt, which I think is actually one of the biggest calls of the entire game, even though all this crazy shit happened. Because one, as a fan, I would love to see Ohtani get a full at bat, and two, they get the run off of that, they get the steal before that and the run. So it's like very much changes the game. And I'm glad. I mean, I'm not glad because weird shit happened, but I'm almost glad shit overshadowed that moment because I thought it was one of those moments where I'm like, why would the ump put his hands in the game? Because we all see that in sports where it's like, don't take over the game.
They can't just not call something that happened.
It was the right call.
Yeah,
it is the right call, and I'm still in the moment of me being like, oh, he just hit it. But then I'm sorry because the more I watched it, Ohtani did make contact, so I keep having to remind myself that is a huge thing when you hit the fucking catcher's mitt. It changes up the thing.
You can't sugarcoat it. It's just another list it's another item that you'll add to the Yankees list of fumbling the fucking bag, dude. If there's anything and I know this is just me speaking New York talk right now because we already know what the New York media is gonna say, what they're typing up to print in the New York Times tomorrow morning is the Yankees shot themselves in the foot every fucking time. And it reminds me a lot of the Mariners. But the reality is, too, some of that is – this is what I try to say to you guys at the end of the season, and I'm trying to reclamate. Some of that is culture and just history. Yankees, culture and history, as of late, they've had some shitty moves. Some of that is management, and some of that is good. It's experience. It's what every one of us goes through is like failure that leads you to being better at your job, man. It's just reality based. It's just so what I'm trying to say is, here's true. My question to you guys as I bring us back out the context a little more from this game, which I'm going to deem the Floodgates World Series, because the Yankees just got shat on when I look back on it. They had a mighty fight. This was definitely the best game of the series, but all in all, they got shit. It almost was Dodgers in 4, if we're being real. But here's what I'm going to say: is
shout out Brownbear.
Pull back. Yeah, shout out Brownbear. If the Mariners, okay, sorry, I'm not saying Mariners. Do the Yankees have another shot of making the World Series in the next 5 years? And before you answer that question, are the Yankees the Dodgers' little bros? Because they try to do what the Dodgers do. Think about the Dodger stars, not just Betts, but Freeman, Ohtani and Teo are both super new additions. Are the Yankees going to be able to come up with that kind of firepower? Or are they always just going to be half of what the Dodgers are? Are they going to even make a World Series in the next 5 years? These are my 3 questions to you guys.
Woo! Brownbear, you want to go first? That's a good question.
I mean, I think
that is the question.
On the top of that, I think you want to say yes, because they have unlimited resources, essentially. If there's a player out there and that player is in any way interested in playing for New York, they can make that happen, I think.
And they invented this blueprint. R.I.P. Steinbrenner, right? Like that's right. That's that's insinuated through this question, but yes.
Yeah, and no. So I think in that sense, yes, but I think when you build teams that way, you start to lose, or you lose the ability to build chemistry in an organic way that you can with teams that are built differently. That said, sometimes you can hit on a team like the Dodgers build their teams very similarly, and while they do have a lot of guys who have been there for quite a while now, they seem to find chemistry with the new guys that they brought in, like Teo and Ohtani and
Glasnow. Yeah. I just want to say this real quick is. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I wanted to bring this in the mix before you keep going, just to add is the Dodgers went and got Yamamoto and Glasnow, and the Yankees have Rodon and Stroman. That's why I'm kind of like, what the fuck is wrong? If they want to be players.
Yeah. No, that's my next point really, is that they need to have more serious pitching, because I think pitching and defense win championships is a thing that's said, and I won't lie, a big failure of the Yankees this postseason was or at least in this series, was their lack of offense and their stars not showing up. I think Soto and Judge in particular were somewhat absent from most of the World Series games, so that's a big thing. Is that when you're building an offense first team, the guys that you're paying to be those guys need to show up. And I think in a way the Dodgers were a more balanced team because, like you said, they brought in some really big pitchers. They brought in big pitchers at the deadline as well. On top of that, they have the big offensive guys, so that when their big offensive guys, faltered a bit Freddie and Mookie had good series, but Ohtani kind of was non-existent in the World Series, we can put his injury kind of as a main reason for that. It's probably hard to play when you partially dislocate your shoulder in the first or second
And
game.
you're supposedly recovering from your second Tommy John, but
Right, yeah, he's not like entirely healthy.
no one really talks about that for some reason. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's just mind-boggling that doesn't affect his other play, but whatever.
But yeah, my main point is that if you're an offense first team and your offense is failing you, then you are relying on guys like Nestor to come in and be the late inning starter who's coming in a closer role. And not to mention that he was coming off injury too, so that's just a weird spot to put him in. But yeah, that's I guess they need to fix
Bueller is Nestor Cortez.
Yeah, right. They need to fix that imbalance in their team construction between the offense and the pitching, and then tighten up some of those other kind of mental errors.
Brownbear, can I ask you? Do you think they're winning the AL East next year?
I mean, I think they'll be in. I think they're still going to be a competitive team for sure. But I think the Orioles are good. Blue Jays are going to try and get better and try and retain some of their stars. Red Sox looked like they were getting close to being dangerous. It's a tough division, so it's hard to say that. Yeah. I think they'll definitely be in the conversation, and I expect them to try and fix their pitching situation in the offseason.
Do you think Soto re-signs with the Yankees?
I mean, where else is he going to go? Like, unless he...
The Dodgers.
Yeah, but that's just like...
They get everybody, man. Did they not just, literally got,
Legacy.
every free agent, it feels like. That's what it feels
like.
But
they almost had Yoshi. This series, the more we talk about it, man, is monumental for the next 10 years of baseball, I think, man. And I don't know, Brownbear, if you had any more. I didn't mean to cut you off if you have any more things you want to say, but I'm going to go in. I'm going to deep dive.
No, I'll let you go. The only thing I'll say is I do think
I
think Soto will resign. He seemed to have good chemistry with it. He's one of the good chemistry points on the Yankees team. I think he fits well in New York, and I think he played well for the most part. So, yeah, I don't see where else he could possibly go if he wants to continue playing on a big stage with a chance to compete in a meaningful way every year, and I don't see him going back to the West Coast. Hit it, Tobe.
Totally agree. I'm about to double down on some points you made. Just on the Soto thing. To me, this series there's so much legacy on legacy on legacy on legacy, bro. It's like Soto, to double down, loves the bright lights, thrives in the bright lights, thrives in the big moments, takes pro ABs, loves 3 walks today. To me, I'm like, that's Barry Bonds shit. That's next level HOF shit, because they weren't 4-0 walks. None of those were, well, I might actually be wrong. One of them might be a 4-0 walk. A lot of them were heavy counts. Took it to the thing. Didn't try to fucking do too much, which I think is such a fucking stud move when you are a top dog, to know what you need to do and get on base when we're up 5, obviously, and then other Shabin. But my other thing that I was thinking of, this very much reminds me of the end of Rocky 1. This is Rocky Apollo Creed. These are 2 offensive dogs, old dogs, that lost all their pitching, that came in bizarrely. And we're coming from the land of defense wins championships. We're coming from the land of Jerry DiPoto, fucking 10 years out, 54% of the games. We got fucking 5 of the best pitchers in the fucking league. We don't even make the playoffs. So you see 2 teams with besides Garrett Cole, and I'm not trying to dog on Flaherty, Yosh, any of the Dodgers. That's the only dude at the start of the season that this is like their dude. Wait. Okay. Yosh, Garrett Cole, Flaherty, Walker, Bueller came in, but it's like it was Glass now, like you said, were the two dudes, and it's like everybody knows you need two good starters. So
well, they
interesting.
wanted Luis Heel to be that guy, but he just wasn't
Yep.
consistent enough. But yeah, I agree.
But I guess I'm not trying to pick on that of being like, oh, they didn't have the pitching, because I'm actually trying to promote that of why this series is monumental, because they showed the entire league that you can still make it with one, good bullpen management, two, your stars showing up in big moments, and three, weirdly offensive heavy teams, which I think has both been the curse of these teams for years now. Is like the same fucking method.
I got some shit to say to that. Yeah.
But then I have one more point that I'm trying to make, is that I think what this playoffs comes down to, which is you guys, I think you've understood this for years going into this, which I think is why baseball is one of the most interesting sports, is that the Dodgers this year won the trade deadline. They got Kopech and they got Tommy Edman, which
and
just
Jay
like you said, and
Yeah.
Jay Flair, which is so weird. Wow, it's because yes, you start off the show, you're like, who would have thought fucking Kopech would have got a ring? Tommy Edman won the fucking player of the NLCS MVP. So it's like,
I mean,
that's probably consistent through every year.
Again,
is whoever wins the trade deadline.
I don't know though. See, I agree with that, but it's hard. Those type of statements are hard. You got to remember are hard because they won the World Series.
I'm coming in hot.
They won the World Series though, so it's like, of course, all their fucking trade deadline moves look good because they needed them to look good in order to win the World Series. But I gotta say, man, they took the 90s Yankees blueprint of just buying whoever the fuck you want at any fucking moment and have taken it into the
See, this is interesting though.
crazy
this is
sphere now where you're looking at the Yankees where even if they re-sign Soto, you're like, damn, your lineup's not deep enough with Judge and Soto. You need another dude. Oh, you've got Cole and a hometown grown dude in Heel. Your starters isn't deep enough. You need multiple dudes so that when dudes go down with Tommy John, you got the next dude up. The Dodgers have sickly reinvented what it is to be a champion this year, and like, I knew this fucking day was gonna come, man.
But see, and then Jay, I think we're all agreeing on the same thing. I think this is why this is a monumental series that's going to define what's going to happen in baseball for the next 10, because I think the biggest thing in this playoffs is everyone pointed. The Orioles did everything right. This is a franchise that got a good pitcher in the offseason. They have developed hitters. They have developed everything they do. And they got swept twice.
But again,
and now
they
you
don't have
two...
experience. They do not have experience.
Okay, you're right.
Okay,
you're right.
They have young players. They'll be back.
Yep.
Let me just say this, though, real quick. You could be right, Tobe. And it definitely feels like for the Dodgers, this feels like the beginning of a dynasty, not because I believe in the Dodgers, but because I believe in Ohtani.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that, A.
Let's talk about it. We haven't even mentioned his name yet.
B, or you could say this changes everything, or it changes nothing and the Dodgers get bounced in the first round next year because, like I said, going into the playoffs, we're in a situation that if one team Cinderella's another team, your path to the World Series gets a whole lot easier. And that's what happened to the Dodgers, if you really think about it. The Mets were not supposed to be in that NLCS. That was supposed to be the Phillies. And the Padres put them to test. No offense to the Mets, valiant effort, but they weren't that good, and the Yankees weren't that good. So it's like you could kind of say, because why I say that is because the Dodgers starting pitching was so fucking flimsy. And yes, Yamamoto did step up, but it wasn't all rev to go like you're talking about. And I don't think that's a pattern moving forward where you're just like, oh, you don't need good starting pitching. All you need is Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Ohtani. No, it's like, nah, it was a soft year is how I would say. It's not like, it wasn't like just
No,
Jeez.
no, no, no.
They should have
or-
played the Phillies at least.
I-
That would have.
I
If they
didn't- I
would have
didn't-
beat the Phillies, then I would have been like, damn, they took the tough route and they made it. But I'm kind of like, honestly,
Well,
they didn't even face the best American League. Well,
Well,
were
I
the
see.
Yankees
See, I
the
didn't.
best
I didn't.
American-
I didn't. I didn't mean it.
Yeah,
I didn't mean it like
probably.
that. I didn't mean it like that. I meant no, 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 no. I'd actually. I think. What I meant is I think every year a team in the World Series who was not the best team in the regular season obviously sneaks in. And I think the Yankees were by and far none not the best team in the regular season. So you're gonna have a team like that who sneaks in. And I think the best series of the playoffs was the Dodgers Padres series, which was hype. And what I more meant is that I think it goes. This is random, but I actually think it points a lot to the Tampa Bay Rays, where I think it's just the whole amalgamation of everything. I think starting pitchers getting injured more and more often. I think it's the shifting of how going in, you're not gonna have a starting five. Like that's the weirdest part about this whole thing is like, I think it's like World Series. It's like, well, we could go Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling. We're just going to have two, so who gives a fuck about a starting five? Because we're only going to go 3 or 4.
That's been the
But it's
blueprint
like,
for years.
so it's been, but that's what I kind of mean. It's like it's been the blueprint, but I think more now it's like the other end where it's like, how can you shift into what the fuck is going on, or fuck, what's the right word? But whatever. But
yeah,
I guess the
you
whole
can
point.
adapt. I get it.
Adapt.
What's
Yeah,
the point?
Which
Yeah,
has
hit me
always
with the
been
point.
it's always been that. It's always been how you can adapt. But I think for this World Series, it's two teams that have for the last 10 to 15 years have always not made it. And so you now have two teams that got to the World Series, and you have one team now that every single move you could analyze. The Dodgers look smart, but while you're watching it, you're both like, I think the Yankees could win this. I think the Dodgers could win this. So I think to almost go the opposite of your point, I think it put a note on the MLB that it's wide open, baby. It's anybody's fucking game, bro. It is fucking wide fucking open, because I think you're right with the XP. I think at the end of the day, that's why they won, because they got Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts. They got these dudes who are dogs who have been around the league. But
yeah, well, that's what we'll have to wait and see, because it's like either the Dodgers are a new dynasty and they're disgusting. It's just exactly like the Yankees. It's just nothing. They're just so contrived, bought. I mean, come on, Yamamoto and Ohtani got those two contracts alone.
But what was good with Houston?
Well, you just can't compare
Houston's
any
the dynasty.
You can't compare any other franchise to the way the Dodgers spend money. It's after the Ohtani signing, they're insane. Like the fact that they can even keep the lights on at the fucking stadium kind of is mind-boggling. I mean, they must have some kind of accounting thing. I mean, they're probably make a lot of money every year, but like,
well, what their plan is in 25 years to sell a team, because right now it's Mookie, Ohtani, and Yoshi only got 85 billion together this year. They deferred everything, so it's bizarre. It's like
maybe they're waiting for Trump to get elected. There's the U.S. going to shit. They're like, oh yeah,
don't jinx us with that shit, bro.
Yeah, no jinx. No jinx. And then can I just bring it back to one point? I know I'm ranting, but I kind of do. I want to shout out Yoshi. I think that was fucking yesterday was one of the better World Series fucking whirlers I've seen, dude. That was nice. And he needed it. That was crazy, bro. I was in New York. Team that supposedly was going to get him, like we're talking about, where it's like those were the two teams. So, and he spun it. So I think honestly, when we look back, because so much shit happened, but I think it's 6 months. It's Yoshi, which, like you're saying, because they spent the money.
You can't say that it's wide open, because the Dodgers used to just
Yeah,
get
I actually
bounced
just doubled
in the
back on my
first
shit.
round.
Yeah.
They get bounced in the first round every year. Now they won the shit. It's a beat Dodgers season next year, and if the Dodgers don't make it to the World Series again, it's another disappointment. That's just how they set themselves up. But the Yankees are trying to be that, but they're mini version of that now. They're being eclipsed in the payment section of it. And now the experience section, they don't have a lot of that either. So honestly, the Dodgers are a fucking monster, and I am not. I'm officially off the Otani train. Okay, he won his World Series, but it's just like I loved Otani, but we're in dark. We're in dark Otani years now.
You're evil empire.
They are evil. The Dodgers are. If you do not think the Dodgers are evil empire, then I don't know what you're smoking.
But see, we were watching the game 2 weeks ago, and I'm third party. Let's say I come from Mars. I've not even watched baseball. I don't know what the fuck that is. So why? And you've actually explained this to me, but why? Besides spending money, what other things on the Dodgers are evil empire about them? Because the Mets spend more money.
One, Bremer, you want to take it?
I'm just being honest. I'm not.
Besides the money, let's see.
I'm genuinely asking. I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm not like trying to. I think it's just an interesting conversation because you are right. They are the team for the next.
Well, my answer, it's hard to say. Besides,
but they also
money,
just lost for 10 years.
They just go out and buy whoever they want.
Yeah,
they were almost
evil
the joke,
empire-ness is
growing.
It's growing, and it's, I would say, more prevalent over the last 15 years. Whereas
this is how the Death Star was created, by the way, fellas.
I'm not saying I'm a huge Dodgers fan. I'm saying I'm more of a Yankee hater than I am a Dodger hater, and I think Tobe falls into the same camp. Like,
I definitely
if you look,
do.
so yes, they have absolutely.
We're Griffey boys, man.
Over the last 12 years, they've been in the postseason every single year. They've competed in 4 World Series, won 2 of those World Series. That's counting the 2020, which we can, everyone has their feelings on. But really, before then, like
they lost to Houston in the Cheat World Series too. They talk about a lot.
Yeah,
started
so
the baseball hippie stuff.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so before that, let's see. I was talking about the last 12 years.
Yeah.
16 times they've been in the last, I don't know. Sorry, my computer's freezing here.
Well, can I ask this
Since
super quick question?
Since 1990, they've been 16 times to the postseason. The Yankees have been, I think, a little bit more than that. Sorry, my computer freezing as I'm trying to make a point here. But the main point I'm trying to make is the Yankees have been evil empire since baseball started. They've just been consistently the team that's winning championships, and they've got, I think it's 27 World Series, something like that. Dodgers have 8. 8's a lot more than a lot of other teams have. And yes, over the last 12 years, they've been very consistently making it to the postseason. They've been very consistently buying players in the same way that the Yankees do. So I don't think you're totally off base calling them evil empire. I just don't think they're quite as evil empire as the Yankees. And that's why I'm not a Dodgers supporter, but if the Dodgers are playing the Yankees, I'm going with the Dodgers. I'm also an American League fan, and I follow the division of American League and National League pretty solid because I spend the first 6 months of the year or 6 months of the season rooting for an American League team. So of course I'm going to hate the Yankees a bit more, not to mention that they have like a rivalry and villain relationship with the team that I root for. So that's where I'm at with that.
Okay, and that, dude, appreciate it. Love the explanation. but I got two quick ones, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, arguing with you boys, because genuinely curious on your guys' opinions because you have watched so much more baseball than me. But I have two questions. One is actually just an agreement, just like the Death Star. There's always a fucking spot you can hit that blows the whole fucking thing up, which the Dodgers have done for the past 10 years and fucking not one. And two is I think it's the thing that's agreeable with a lot of sports fans that come in where it's like, are we small team markets versus large team markets? I appreciate baseball because I think it's actually genuinely one of the last sports left where there's almost in the past 20 years, I don't think there is let's say a correlation, besides, I mean, the Astros fucked everything up because whatever, they cheat, but
the Dodgers just won the World Series without all of their players. And so I'm right there with you. You don't have to spend $10 billion to win a World Series. You can do it with a ragtag group of guys. I'm into that camp. I'm into the underdog camp. But I think what we're seeing is the bricks of a possible three-peat type of, like, we could be looking at a dynasty here. And so if the Dodgers win the World Series next year, are you guys going to tell me, yeah, I don't really hate them that much? Or is your hatred for them going to rise? Like, when do they get the evil empire?
No, I still would say that I'm more, my beef is more with the teams that more consistently impact the success of my American League team. Yeah, I don't think it's interesting for the same team to win the World Series 3 times in a row, 4 times in a row. That's not interesting to me. I don't want to see any team do that. But personally, it doesn't bother me as much as a team from the American League doing that.
It's so interesting.
True. Okay, then I guess what I'm trying to... Is this a core issue with the baseball hippie concept itself? Are we Buddhists, or are we always looking at there has to be an evil empire that controls and we have to defeat, unless it's us where everything in life is pain and we are our own worst enemy? Because what I'm looking at is every sport has to have
I can answer that through a metaphor.
The David Goliath.
If you grow an apple in your backyard
it's more fun.
And you don't put any pesticides on it, you grow it organically. It grows naturally. And maybe it's not the most beautiful apple, but it's a tasty apple. And you know what? You didn't have to do any fucked up shit to grow that apple. Well, then someone comes along and they're just like, oh, that's really nice. You got a fucking apple tree. Well, I'm a corporation. I'm going to fucking build the 10 million of these and like fucking put all this crazy shit in it. That's what I'm trying to say here, man. We like organic, natural. So if there is still, and I know it's crazy in today's game because the like homegrown hero isn't really a thing, but yeah, I'm definitely going for the underdog in every series usually, and then I'm also going for any time where the clubhouse vibe feels like it's not just bought. And I agree with you. The Dodgers have a lot of nice dudes that like I feel like are good people, and they're not just like winning World Series after winning World Series. But if they win next year, I'm gonna put my foot down and say, fucking Ohtani, fucking why'd you do this, dude? Why did you do this? You just took your domination world tour and just plugged into the fucking...
Bro, he tried to do the right thing, man. He signed with the fucking Angels. He tried to take a team that hadn't been there and bring him... He carried that team on his back.
Did the Kevin Durant.
But see, this is why
the fucking rotting corpse of Mike Trout behind him for 5 years.
You're right.
But see, this is why the analogy.
So nice on the Mariners.
This is why the analogy of Star Wars is so perfect, because Darth Vader's the evil guy for the entire 3 movies. He takes off his helmet. It's Shohei Ohtani. It's the boy.
Misunderstood dad.
He just has a dog. His puppy runs out.
He's the most evil guy.
Mookie Betts comes out as a ghost. He's like,
a lot of people say he's the most evil guy. A A lot of people say he's the most evil guy in the universe, but he's just a misunderstood, negligent dad.
See, you're right, and you guys are steering on me. You're steering me on the right path because what's happening is I could end up being at a Mariners game with the Houston Astros hat, sitting next to Jess and me, and then we're like, "Damn, you from Houston?" And he's like, "Nah, I just root for the winning teams, bruv. I used to root for the Dodgers last year." And we're like, "Whoa, people just do that?" It's like this is the mindset that I'm trying to tap into, where I'm like watching this, and I'm like, man, like. Baseball is different when like teams are fucking have a lot of money and fucking do good. So that's why I appreciate what you guys.
You're getting that one wrong, bro. Let me rephrase it. We met a Twins fan, and he turned to us and goes,
okay.
"Why are people booing Correa?" It's like, oh, because he played for the cheaters. And he's like, I was a Houston fan until they cheated, and then I switched teams. And we were like, who'd you switch teams to? He was like, the Twins. And we were like, why? He's like, I don't know. I just randomly picked them. And we were just like, what? Like, what? Like, it's not like you cheated, bro. Like, you could still root for your team. It's crazy.
Okay, another thing is Freddie Freeman, they had the stat 5 World Series games with the home run in a row. It wasn't Correa who had 6. It was Bregman, or no, it was some Houston Astro that had 6 in a row, which is absolutely fucking insane, especially counting that they had buzzers on. But basically, okay. Wait, so take me 5 steps back. I was trying to get into the mind of Dan Wilson entering the preseason, spring training, where I'm like, we're already going into next year. So what do I say to the boys next year? I go, listen, boys, it's not about the money. It's not about the amount of fucking defensive errors you can make in a game that's going to cost you. It's just about the ride. Or am I going to be like, listen, what just proved the postseason last year is that both the Dodgers and the Yankees were very beatable in every single series they played. Every team had a chance to beat them. And that's what I would tell the boys. And I'd say, J-Rod.
Well, we'll see. I mean, this is how dynasties are made. It's like, yeah, the Dodgers now have the biggest target on their back, whether it's a regular season series, or the first round of the playoffs. Everyone's going to be trying to take them out. But you cannot tell me today what just happened. The Dodgers just won a World Series with, I'd say, half of their starting rotation. One of their best players with a shoulder. You know, Ohtani's going to pitch next year. How, like, why the odds at Vegas for them winning the World Series must be even. You probably can't even make $1 on your bet.
So the shift happened. And I'm not arguing. The shift happened where now Ohtani is the Darth. He's Darth. He's a Sith
I
Lord.
told you, I am officially, after tonight's episode, for the last 8 years and pre that, I was a huge Ohtani guy. I'm talking, I was hyping him before he even came. I thought he might be a Mariner. Even when he went to the Angels, I still repped him. But I don't rep him anymore because, again, once you become a winner, it's hard. Dude, I wasn't a huge fan of Kobe or Jordan when they were alive. People don't want to hear that. Is that when guys dominate, I respect them. Do I respect Ohtani? Yeah, I fuck with him. Is he tight? Is he a nice guy? Yeah, he seems great. And honestly, it's the hardest part to root against the Dodgers. They do seem great. They genuinely, those 3 guys seem genuinely like nice people. Mookie, Freddie, and Ohtani. But
if anyone's watching this episode,
you can't just be the best player in the world and then go to this obviously the best team and then win a World Series and have me just be like, yeah. Unless it's my team, I guess. But you know, I don't care what league you play for. I'm just not gonna fuck with you very. You know.
I love it.
It's Yankee-esque. It's the Dodgers are more Yankees than the Yankees, y'all. How about that? Once you get that, once you think about that one, the Dodgers should be wearing pinstripes, and the Yankees should be wearing Everett Aqua Sox hats.
It's too evil. So basically, you're saying the enemy of my enemy is not my friend.
I'm saying that
This episode is fire, by the way.
The guard has
this is
changed.
legendary.
Where I say it a lot every year, I say the guard is changing, but this year, the Dodgers are starting to etch what could be a dynasty. Is what I see from this World Series. This was you could call it kind of an off year, like we talked about. That could be argued, but they didn't do it with the full staff. And like you said, Roberts now is known for pushing the levers, much like a Bochy-esque. You know, he's like known for being the puppet master. Well, that wasn't always the case. So I'm a little afraid of the Dodgers, I guess what I'm trying to say is that they're not only good, they now have experience. They're fucking dangerous, dude. And they pay guys like Will Smith 160. They do the right things. They do the Yankees, but they do it better. And then they do smart moves on top of it. Like you're saying, like all their trade, they're the team to be, and times 10 with Ohtani, man. And especially if he's going to pitch next year. So, like, during the regular season, the Phillies and the Padres were easily contenders in the National League with them. But just now that the dust has settled, maybe we're too close to the World Series, but it's like, the Dodgers are scary, man. I'm a little afraid, and it really comes down to one dude. It's like, if they got Glasnow and Yamamoto, I'd be like, yeah, this was kind of a fluky World Series. But it's just they've got all this firepower, and then in the nucleus of it is this one dude, and he could go Super Saiyan on a motherfucker. We know this about Ohtani. He was the fact that he was quiet in this World Series and they still won it handily, almost in 4, should scare you as a baseball fan. They're dangerous, dude. The danger is on.
Yes, what I'm understanding, man, and I love it, because we're going to look back at this episode. This has been a beautiful episode. But what's happening right now is that what both of you guys are saying is that y'all still got a dog in the fight, because deep down, your little bitty Mariners could still sneak into the World Series. And if what I'm saying, I'm like, I don't even got no enemies, man. I just enjoy baseball, which actually I don't actually agree with, because I'm playing just devil's advocate. But what I do appreciate is that what you're saying is like, there's got to be a Darth Vader. There's got to be an evil empire, because if there's not, then what it means is that you have settled into what the standard rotation and cycle is.
We haven't had a dynasty in baseball for a long time, Tobe. So that's the
Houston, dude. What? The Astros for sure were a dynasty.
I don't know. Brownbear, how do you feel about that? Kind of.
4 out of 6. 4 out of 6. 9 ALCSs in a row, right?
You're asking if the Astros were a dynasty?
The Astros won 4 championships. I forgot that.
No, they didn't win 4 championships. They won 2 championships.
3?
They went to the World Series.
Oh, it's
4
2.
times.
I'm wrong. My bad.
Since 2017,
okay, you're right.
Yeah, since 2017,
My
they've
bad.
been to the. I would still consider that a dynasty. From 2017, they've been there 4 times. They won. I want to say they won the division series like 7 years in a row or something stupid like that.
Yeah, it was something crazy. And I think it was almost.
They've won 2 World Series. They've lost 2 World Series. Having since 2017, that's 1, 2, 3. It's 8.
See, I love that
seasons.
Because 3 is dynasty, 2's not. 2's I'd take it back, because 2's not.
Played in 4 of the
I would have
last
much rather.
8 World
With
Series.
that being said, I would have much rather see the Astros versus the Dodgers. I think that'd have been a much better.
Gross, nasty.
So then you would have been happy.
Who would
if the
you
Dodgers
have?
won,
Yeah,
though.
would you have rooted for the Dodgers there, or would you be pulling for the Astros?
So Tony's not Darth Vader.
I plead the fifth.
I love it.
We changed
so
the
good.
podcast to a basketball.
It's so good.
My
I don't
2
even-
hated,
I love it.
most
I love
hated
it.
teams
It's so
are the
good.
Yankees and the Astros.
Brown Bear nightmare fuel.
Yeah, because this is the conversation that's happening all over the league. This is so good. This is good, dude. This is really good, because You are right. I mean, these are the two most hated teams, and I'm just trying to understand.
If the Dodgers
I mean, I
go on to
understand
win
why, but I'm
two
trying to
more
understand
World
why.
Series like the Patriots or the Bulls, would you be surprised? So the 3-peat.
No.
Well, I think what I'm
No.
getting at is it's LeBron, because what I'm trying to understand is the Dodgers. If the Dodgers lost, they would have still been the laughing stock. Because I always think if you make it 10 times and only win once, like that's egregious, because that just means, like what you're saying, you have a high payroll. That's the only reason you're getting there. So like for me, that only win 2 out of 10. It's like they're not like they're still just like
Yeah, but
silly to me. So like,
I'm
but
not saying
LeBron
they're
kind
a
of did the same
dynasty
thing.
today. They are about to be, and we're
I
going
also
into the dark ages.
I will tell
That
you, I
Yes.
think that
all
it's
other
possible.
baseball will be eclipsed by how good they are. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
Nah, I
Yes.
think it's possible. I also think baseball is the hardest sport to repeat in. I mean, I would say baseball is
Yeah.
the hardest sport to do a lot of things in,
Yeah.
but just by the sheer length of the season, I feel like playing through injury in baseball is not as common as some of the other sports. Like, I think like the sheer number of players, the lack of individuality in the success of a team. So like, NBA I think is notorious for having like a big three. You get like the big three players, and those three dudes carry your team. In like, football, it's kind of all. I mean, there's role players and things like that, but a lot of it comes down to how good of a quarterback you are and how good they pair up with maybe like one or two wide receivers. I think baseball personally, and obviously I'm biased as like mainly a baseball fan, but I think it relies so much more on the smaller role players, on like the entire team coming together and everyone playing their part, and also even having like the best player in the world on your team cannot carry.
Doesn't guarantee.
It can't carry the same way that it does in other sports.
No, but if
And
he's
so
a starter and he can hit.
Yeah, and
You're
I guess I'm not even
right.
talking about Otani specifically with that. I'm talking about like
Okay.
really any. I mean, Otani's a good
Yeah.
example, but like any star player can't really carry a
You're
team in the same way that they can in a different sport. Like I mean, I guess you can go off and like win a game on like an amazing offensive performance, but I just think
Yeah.
it's so much harder to go through a 162 game season, maintaining the health of everybody on your team and keeping that stamina and momentum going into the postseason to be able to even get to the World Series multiple times in a row, let alone win the World Series multiple times in a row.
Dude, totally agree, and that's why I'm trying to pick your guys' minds, because the more I watch, the more I'm like, baseball is by far the best sport. It's so interesting for just the reasons you brought up. It's so complex. It has so much to do with little things, so much to do with larger things, and this was, like I said before, this is the most tapped in I've been in a postseason in a while, and I loved every moment of it. And that's why, I'm not, I'm not trying to argue with you about Dodgers being the whatever, but like, I just, I love it, man. It's interesting, and I think if the Dodgers got swept, which I agree with Brown Bear in the beginning because it was looking like that, I'm glad it went to this, and I'm glad the baseball gods prevailed, because you can't anger them, bro. It's paganistic, bro. Don't go against nature. But it's so and I kind of want to go back to legacies, because now we're talking about Aaron Judge, who I love, hits the home run, drops the fly ball. Now, if you're born in New York, born Yankees fan, like, that memory's never leaving your head. And Aaron Judge carried you through for years. So it's like, what do you guys think about all these legacies? And we talked about last episode, it's like, who has the bigger impact if they win? We were like Judge, Otani, J Ram, and all those. So it's like, it's interesting where I think Judge actually had an okay series kind of compared to Otani, but both of them had not good series. So it's
They both
now
had
it's
bad
about
series,
exactly
yeah.
what Brown Bear's talking about, where it's
Yeah,
the other dudes, which it's
I think the Judge example is like a great kind of follow up to that, because the Yankees fans can be pissed as they want about how Judge, didn't show up in the postseason, and I will acknowledge he really didn't. And then, like you said, when his bat comes around, he started making. He dropped a ball in center field on like a pretty routine line drive. Like that was not a hard
Crazy.
play.
Dude, crazy, bro.
Yeah. So I guess the point I'm trying to make, Amy's mad as hell at that. I mean, mad as they want at it. Blame it all on Aaron Judge if you want. They would not be in the postseason without Aaron Judge and what he contributed to the team. I mean, I really don't think they would. And
sorry.
No. I just think that is an example of why you need the other role players around you, because it's such a long season and because of a long postseason. You need those other role players to step up and complement that start.
I think that here's why I call the Dodgers the evil empires, because I kind of feel like they have 3 judges. Like even in the regular season, like you're talking about regular season, the Yankees were shit when Judge got injured, weren't they? Or was that last year? Sorry, I know like they are not the same team without
he was
one.
He was injured a bit this year.
The Dodgers, I think, would still sneak a wild card if Ohtani went down for the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
But let's take it back, and I guess let's take ourselves back to us being 10 years old. We watch a guy like Stanton, who sucks for the past 3 years, had injuries, postseason legend, versus a guy like Judge, who you probably have posters of on your wall. Miss a ball like that just like pains me as just a baseball fan in general. But then you have dudes on the other end, on the Dodgers side, like Freddie Freeman, who the legacies go further and further. So it's like, for me, I think that was actually the toughest part of the World Series, is just being like, man, Judge is one of the best talents we have, you know, kind of almost Mike Trout-esque, where it's just like these things where it's like, and I don't know, I think Mike Trout would be a dog in the playoffs because he takes crazy ABs, and I'm not trying to bitch out Judge, but Judge does kind of has the same thing as Stan, where they be swinging at the breaking balls and sliders a lot. But I just think it's the thing where I'm like, the legacy to me is so interesting when we're talking about championships, and I'm thinking like, obviously I don't think it takes away anything from Judge as a whole, but I think it's one of those things where we're talking about the randomness, the side players, but then you also have stars pull through like Soto. I think Soto left the playoffs being like, Soto did every fucking thing he could. And
yeah, I agree. I think if you ran this World Series back 5 times, I think the Dodgers would win it 5 times.
Yeah.
I don't think the Yankees have enough firepower.
Dodgers in 4.
And you
Dodgers,
were dead on.
DraftKings, Brownbear.
You were dead on, man. You were dead on. And so,
and then Brownbear, can I ask Brownbear, what was your thinking? I mean, we could have our own answers, and I kind of know what you're thinking, but just for like the internet YouTube sake, so we can look back at it, what was your thinking of saying that Dodgers in 4?
I mean, it was kind of the same thing that Jess was just saying. With if you run it back 5 times, the Dodgers are going to win every time. And I just think, and it kind of goes back to the earlier in the pod when I was saying they're a more balanced team. I think they had less holes. I think they were overall just more prepared. And yeah, I mean, Judge and Soto are a really good star pair, but as Jess mentioned, we got on the other side Ohtani, Freeman, and Mookie, who are all on Hall of Fame tracks in their own right. Like
Teo,
yeah, I guess. And part of it was that, you know, I don't know if I would have said that at the beginning of the postseason, but just seeing the Dodgers on their way through the post, like their team was performing what I thought was a little bit better. So that's why I said that. And I thought that matched up head to head with the Yankees, the Dodgers were going to pull through every time, because they seem to, like, the Yankees had some big blowout wins. I think particularly in the Cleveland series, if I'm thinking correctly. But the Dodgers had a number of like impressive rallies put together with the lineup from top to bottom contributing in those.
And they put the foot on the neck constantly.
Yeah. And
I agree with that.
so yeah, I guess those are the reasons. The just like the way that they were playing, and then the completeness of their team compared to the Yankees.
Word. Can I ask what was each of your guys' favorite moments of the playoffs? Now that we're looking back at it.
The Soto home run to deep center.
So
At bat was the best at bat in the playoffs to me.
Yeah.
I mean, the Freddie Freeman home run was pretty tight, but that was just bad. That was just shades of Scott service to me right there. Easy to say in hindsight. It's like, I get it if you're bringing out like a gunner who like has 100-mile-an-hour stuff, but you're bringing
I just said to myself, I'm all over that, man.
You're bringing out Nestor, dude. Okay, I'm gonna say
Brown Bear, you got a favorite moment. Sorry, I was just trying to get that little look back at it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Just trying to think the whole postseason. I feel like I don't know. My mind goes back to the Tigers, and I feel like there's I forget was it Kerry Carpenter or someone else who had a big like late. It was like a really low scoring game, and then they had like a 2 or 3 run home run at the end of the game.
Yeah,
dude, it was
Carpenter. I think
he had a big double, but it was like a super random dude who had the knock to bring him in, which was really cool.
That actually, no, you know what? That was really cool. I'm gonna the Cleveland game where
Big Christmas, that's what I was gonna say.
And then the other dude.
I love that.
The two and them winning the game on those home runs. That was my favorite moment of the postseason.
Dude, shout out your boys, the Naylor boys. Brown Bear's been on the Naylor boys,
you
man.
have.
Them boys are nice.
My boy Wario, dude.
Tobe, what was your favorite moment? Was it Machado throwing the ball?
It was Profar talking shit to those fools. Nah, I really like the big Christmas one. I love
good one.
I love in the big lights when you just don't know someone and then they tell you about their sick ass nickname that I've never heard of, and I'm like, damn, this guy's nickname.
That's how you earned your nickname.
Christmas. Yeah, exactly. I was like, damn, that's so tight. I remember that for the rest of my life.
On the chat too, where
so
it was like somebody said Garb Sauce. He's like, you don't get to have a nickname when you're batting 160, okay? I don't care how much money they pay for. Okay, so we got to wrap it here soon, but I just want to get my little quick in. Dodgers are Yankees West, Houston's Yankees South, and Yankees are still Yankees East. Or just Yankees, however you want to say. So that's my final say on that. But real quick, we don't have to end on this, but I just wanted to mention this. Because I know we'll probably do a pod here in the middle of the season. Oh yeah, also Jesse Winker wins Baseball Hippie Award this year.
I was just gonna ask. That's so funny. Who's the Hippie of the Week? Yep.
So he wins Baseball Hippie Award this year. That's a duh.
Beautiful.
We talked about that last week. We'll talk about it next year.
Beautiful.
I mean, come on, Winks, man. But I'm gonna leave us with this. We didn't get into the toxic fan stuff. I'm fine with that. We can talk about it in the offseason. But I thought this is more important. 2025 free agents at each position. I'm gonna name a few because there's some interesting ones here.
Love it.
Obviously Soto, Pete Alonso, Goldie is old.
Old Schmidt.
Josh Bell, JD Martinez are just consistently free agents every year, so they're just automatic free agents.
I love Josh Bell.
But Gleyber Torres, dude, the Yankees have a ton of free agents. Rizzo, Gleyber Torres, and Cole has an option, but is also weirdly a free agent. Verdugo's a free agent.
Damn.
Jesse Winker's a free agent. Bellinger can opt out. Harrison Bader. Santander was good last year. Teo's a free agent again.
There's no way Teo doesn't go back to
yeah. Ozuna's a big one.
Wait, where's he from?
Ozuna from the Braves.
Corbin Burns. Blake Snell can opt out. Kikuchi is Also,
Ooh,
Evaldi has a player option. Max
Silva.
Fried.
Interesting.
Jordan Montgomery had a weird ass season. Verlander's a fucking.
Where's
free agent,
JD Martinez? You said.
Bieber. Shane Bieber's a free agent.
You said JD
Quintana.
Martinez.
Yes, JD Martinez is a free agent. Chris
One thing I know.
How
One
is
thing
he
I
on
know.
this list?
One thing I know about my Callahan brothers, they love JD Martinez bro, every
they
time,
do.
every year.
Hey, why don't you pull
he's
up
nice.
his
He's
stats?
nice.
Why don't you pull up his
Dude,
stats?
he's nice. He's nice.
He's
Uber's
also
on the fun.
old, bro. He's old.
He's old.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I always forget.
Damn, Bragman
He's fucking Ubered up.
Bragman is a
Cheater?
free agent. He's a cheater. So yeah, nobody I said besides Soto and Polar Bear are like, whoa,
So what, you want-
break the bank.
who-
But I'm just trying to give us and
What about-
Reese Hoskins. I'm just trying to give us a taste because not only
Reese
in 4
Hoskins.
weeks all these names will be. You know how baseball goes. Not less
Reese-
than 3
Reese-
weeks we'll be hearing these
Reese
names.
Hoskins, second baseman,
First base.
first
I
base.
believe, at DH.
Interesting.
So yeah,
Who do
that's
we
just
have
the
at first
scape-
base right now?
The scope of things. Garb sauce. No.
No, we have redhead Justin Turner. Who would you want? Who would you guys want? Free agent, just for looking at it next year. If you could get one guy off the list.
Oh God.
Is Brent
Teo.
Rooker on there? You know, I love
mean,
me some
any
Brent.
guy or just you said Teo's not going to resign. They're talking about.
why would
Polar
you?
Bear.
He had a great season, and they just won the World Series. I feel like both teams are going to be like the team is going to be interested in bringing him back. He is going to be interested in going back. Like, why would you move on? That was a success for both sides. It'd just be shocking.
Well, the question was, who would you?
He's like,
pick?
I'm going back to fucking Seattle, baby.
I'm not saying in reality. I'm just saying.
Oh, you were.
Nah,
I thought you were.
I guess
like,
in that
clarify.
case, I go Soto.
Star Wars universe. Sorry. Yeah. Not anyone.
They're talking
Who'd you guys
about
want?
being
Who'd you guys
interested in
What-
Polar Bear.
what do you guys-
who I don't think would translate in Safeco Field.
Yes, great way to put it. I don't think translates at all. What's our weaknesses right now besides every single position?
I think we're probably not going to pick up Polanco's option. I think Rojas does.
Okay, wait. Can I tap into that? Polanco's option is how does it have it on your? Does it say how much it is right now?
I have to look at it. Look it up.
Because
I
that's
think we should get
interesting. I
Bregman.
wonder.
I think it's very
I
expensive.
wonder if there's stats. I wonder if there's stats on Mariners' second years players versus first years, and what their stats correlate to. Because Polanco, I'm not fully giving up on, just because his career. And
We
he
should
shows
give
more.
Bregman 180 mil. Be a team leader. Take him away from Houston, the so-called dynasty of the years past. Nah,
Chess.
they are.
You
Yankees suck.
are a Sith Lord, bro.
Well, I'm just saying, man.
Brett,
I'm gonna be against the Dodgers for years to come after this World Series. So
Brett, you think Bregman's probably
sides have been
HOF?
chosen.
He's probably got stupid career numbers.
He is not HOF yet. I would imagine.
Interesting.
He's just not there yet.
Who do you think on the Houston Dynasty's HOF? Tuve?
Yeah,
The cheating
probably.
scandal did not help, but yes.
Yeah, I don't think the Hall is gonna. I mean,
Yeah.
The side
I'd
off,
be
you get the
I'd
side
be
off.
surprised if that alone kept him out of the Hall of Fame. I think Altuve.
Dude, I
have such a hard time just calling Hall of Fame because the Hall of Fame is incredibly stingy, and so like
I love asking you guys the HOF. It is like one of the most interesting things of all sports because I love that it's so stingy, and I think it's tight because all the other sports are pretty easy, bro. Like if you win 2 chips in any sport, you're in basically, or you're James Harden, you're in. Like
I think
I love
that. You make a good point. Yeah, so I guess
Altuve,
I would say
Jordan's got a nice pat.
I would say Altuve. I would say
Oh, yeah,
Jordan is too young
Jordan's
and
on
needs to
his
do a
way.
lot more. I
He's
think.
Yeah.
on his way, I'd say.
He's on his way. He's on his way.
I think. I mean, unless he gets injured.
I mean, how
Just
many
numbers
how many seasons
Who-
has he even played?
I bet Jordan's. Let's guess his age. I'm gonna guess 27, 26 maybe. I feel like he looks hella older than he is.
He's 27.
There we go. So you think Correa? You think Correa's HOF? Like who else on that team? You think?
He's played in 6
It'd be
seasons.
So that
I'm
goes
not
back
saying
to
he's there yet, but just if you take his 6 seasons as a sample size and times it by 3, he's a bona fide Hall of Famer, dude. He's got.
I fuck with
Yeah,
Jordan. I
you're
fuck
not,
with
you're
Jordan.
not wrong. You're not wrong.
He needs like probably 4 or 5 more seasons. He probably needs like 4 more seasons of 100 RBIs. So it's not.
He needs,
I'm with you. It's not a given. If he gets injured, he is very not likely. But
And I think if he wins
if
a
he
home
hits
run,
30 home runs and 100 RBIs in the next 4 years, he probably.
in 1 year, one year if he hits if he hits for the home run leader, like that'll help. He got
Honestly,
45.
I'm starting to think about it. He's got a long road ahead, dude.
That's what I mean. He's only played 5. He's only played 4 full seasons.
Full seasons. He's got 3 All-Stars. He needs you need 8 to 9 All-Stars. You need at least 400 or 500 RBI seasons. I feel like these are kind of benchmarks.
Damn, dude, the baseball HOF is so sick. It might be the most exclusive club, one of the most exclusive clubs in the world, dude, ever. It's like that.
Yeah.
It's like Diddy parties. No, I'm just kidding. Bro, I will say, you guys, talking about Sith Lords, dude. I do like me. Oh, this is what I was gonna bring up. This actually is relatable. I do like me some Altuve, because just going back to us as little kids, man, you love the dude who doesn't look. It's just could be any body type. And this is what we were talking about. Yoshi, this guy 5'10", 175, 99. That's literally all of us. That's literally our body type. All 3 of us.
He does have the
Could throw at
Lincecum build.
dude. But Lincecum was lanky though. I think he had long arms and shit, and was just had a
I think he was 5'10", dude. I'll look him up.
Lincecum might have even been shorter, dude. He was, but he had
5'11".
But Lincecum's power came from his, his delivery, which was a super wild, over the top power stance. But Yoshi's every time I watch him, I'm like, how the fuck does this guy pitch 99? And just I'm putting myself as, like a kid, it's like, this guy makes you think anyone ever could throw 99 and be dominant, which I love, dude. And that's why, even though Altuve cheat, I kind of love it too, because baseball is the sport. It's the only sport where any body type, any person can be a fucking dog, dude.
True words not been said. You said 2 truths tonight, which is any body type can play baseball, and unforced errors will inevitably lead to runs. These are the truths of baseball. Sure.
I don't even like speaking that out loud, dude. The baseball gods are so heavy in the air right now, dude. I might fuck up in my real life and they'll fucking punish me, bro. They fucking are out here, dude. God,
The baseball
damn.
gods are telling me Otani's getting it. What Otani? We're not looking to win one. Otani's looking to win multi rings now.
Well, see, this is where we go back, is the big impact. And I think I was talking about Otani because I'm like, now you're talking Jordan-esque, where you go, now you're 1 of 1. You're one. Who right now in the league's 1 of 1 besides him and Tommy Edman, probably. Also, Freddie Freeman, Atlanta. How do you think Atlanta's feeling? That trade is interesting. Still, Atlanta
It wasn't a trade.
fans.
They didn't re-sign him
Oh right, didn't reset, which is even
right
Then he
after
fired
winning the
his
World
agent.
Series.
Yeah.
pretty weird. Is he Scott Boras?
No.
Oh, and
Nah.
remember, yeah, it was the story where he said he didn't even know his agent did that, right? Some weird
Yeah.
shit.
So
It's
stupid.
weird. And then he got traded for the other tall
That's a
sexy
team to
white
look
dude.
out for.
Well, they
next year,
signed Matt
Atlanta.
Olson.
Matt
They
Olson.
yeah, they couldn't get talks going for I think because his agent pulled it, and they couldn't get talks going, and so they had an opportunity to trade and sign. They did basically like a trade and sign for Matt Olson, and they didn't need Freddie anymore, and so then he went to the Dodgers, and he was not stoked about it.
Yeah, I remember that. It was a wild goodbye. But interesting now how a couple years have played out in the last, just going back to legacies. I think to me that's the guy who had the most impact on his legacy. I think throughout this playoffs. I think
Dude,
Freddie
just throughout
Freeman
this year, he
took
had an
the
incredible,
game.
he had a good year, and his son almost
Wild.
died in the middle of the summer.
Son almost died. Just absolute documentary type of beautifulness.
Did he
Just
win
amazing,
World Series
bro.
MVP?
Amazing.
He did, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Well-
wait, is Tommy Edman a free agent? Because that guy's gonna get back. He had a good series last, but his I don't know. It's like when you watch the games, his defense, like how the fuck, like he's nice. At
He
shortstop.
he was playing really well he was good in St. Louis, but a couple years ago in the WBC, he was tearing it up. He plays for Korea.
Tommy
But for-
Edman?
Yeah, he's half Korean.
Oh, wow.
Oh, in the WBC he did.
Yeah, he played for Korea.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, he was
Dude.
tearing it up.
Tommy Edman might become one of my favorite players, dude. He's so like he is nice this postseason. He's
Toby
fucking
Edman.
shit, man. Call me little fucking
Yeah, he's good, man.
1080T Toby Edman.
I fucking hate the Dodgers, dude. You know what they do? Is they just are like, oh,
Yes, what happened, bro?
well, I mean, are we a Dodgers podcast? Do you like the Dodgers? I'm confused here. Here's what I'm trying to say.
I like the
They go-
Dodgers
I mean,
more
look,
than I
there's
like the
three houses,
Yankees.
man. There's a straw house, there's a clay house, there's a brick house, man. Right now, I'm a fucking brick house, okay, dude. You're getting blown down by the big bad wolf, dude. Damn, that's
All right,
cringy.
man.
I
Well,
can't believe I
I'll
said it.
I'll send you a Dodgers hat this year.
I'm not a
I
Dodgers.
know
fan.
everybody's
Fuck the
jumping
Dodgers.
bandwagon, but I'm gonna tell you
Fuck the
this.
Dodgers.
Here's what they
Do you
did.
not get it?
They-
I hate the Yankees more than I hate the Dodgers. So I'm
No, I get
Yeah,
that.
it is.
I
It
get
is.
where you guys are coming from.
I
but I'm
don't
gonna say
like
this.
It's like good
Dodgers.
baseball, man. It's good. It was good product. It was good product. Or it was
Here's what they
okay
did.
product. It
They're
was
kind of like the
popcorn.
opposite of the Mariners in a lot of ways. Here's what they did. They went and saw, oh, damn, Mookie Betts tore it up for that Boston World Series. We should go get him. And then they're like, damn, Freddie Freeman played really good in that Atlanta World Series. We should go get him.
But see, this is why. But
The guys they picked are
you
kind of
watch-
tried and true. I'll give
But
them
you
that,
watch the Mookie podcast. You're the guy who put me on to Shohei originally. Like that's why I'm so. I get it as a sports fan because I think this is where you need to go to even get yourself ready for the next season. But I'm just trying to understand the dichotomy of a Jess, dude, of a J in this world
Well,
of baseball.
it's like
bro.
you start the season with the biggest payroll and you're the heavy favorite to win the World Series. Then you go and win the World Series handily. I'm going to be like, let's beat that team, y'all. I'm gonna be like, that's the team to beat. They're the Yankees. That's what I'm going to say every time.
I get it. Okay, I get it. But see, I'm going Anthony Edwards approach because you gotta look at that and be like, shit. That's why I wanted to win it. Because I'm coming in like, I don't want a diamond. Like I'm not trying to be a hater. Cause shout out Corbin Carroll, obviously. But it's like, if I see a Diamondbacks, if I see a low budget, if I see a low team, I'm like, that should be us, bro. It's like I'd rather see the big teams win it and then just be like, well, shit, then gives us more chance to sneak in next year than fucking you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's like you know what I'm saying on that one, where it's like every year there's a team that gets in, and it means it's more back progress for the Mariners to get in. So if I'm like Dodgers, Yankees, just means fucking.
I mean, I kind of get what you're saying, but I wouldn't point to anything that I saw this year to say that an underdog. Usually, I would agree with you 100%. I think baseball is generally like that, but I'm worried that baseball's now trending because of the Dodgers. I know I'm hating on them.
No, because bro, remember 2 months ago, Central, both the Centrals, that came out of nowhere, bro. The Centrals have sucked for ages, dude. Now the Centrals, I mean, they didn't get, you know, the Cleveland whatever, but like, that's blueprint.
To lose to the Dodgers in the World Series now. I mean, come on. What are we talking about here? I mean, again,
You're right. I don't know
how you can walk away from that World Series and be like, damn, underdogs really got a shot next year. I'm looking at it like, holy
I'd rather have them win
Dodgers
than
are
Texas.
only going to be better next year.
But I'm saying it leaves me. Last year I'm not watching Texas win.
You need a villain to rally against, to rebel against. The Star Wars would be boring as shit if the evil empire wasn't evil and like it's way overpowering to the Rebel Alliance. The reason it's exciting is you see these like dudes in rags coming up and beating these guys in the fucking floating moon in the sky. Like, I don't know, man. I think I don't entirely disagree with you that it's not exciting to see a team be that good based on the players that they can purchase. Like, that is inherently an issue for baseball, especially when you look into the deferment of contracts and things that they're doing to make it work within their ability to just literally buy whatever player they want.
Which is gangster.
It makes it so much more exciting to me when you get a team that comes in like, you know, some underdog team to beat that team, you know, like.
Okay.
You're right. I get it.
I can see that.
Let's say this. Dodgers win next year. I'm not fucking with it at all. They're evil empire.
Okay.
That's why we can all agree on that. We can all agree on that. But I do get it because the money thing, the deferred thing is gangster, but then I get the other side. It's actually incredibly shady. But
if you either lose in the playoffs, you lose in the World Series for 12, you either lose in the playoffs for 12 years straight or live long enough to be the bad guy. So maybe the Mariners will live long enough to be the bad guy someday.
I don't know,
I'm telling you,
how dope was it?
We're far away. Yeah.
I was just in recent memory, how dope was it when the Nationals beat the Astros in the World Series?
Beautiful.
Like, that kind of shit is like.
Okay, you're right. You guys are
right. Bro, I didn't realize Soto hit 3 home runs that World Series, dude.
Yeah.
Or no, it might have been more. Like,
he came out.
He was just a little baby too. He's like 20 years old, I feel like.
Soto is the absolute boy, bro. That is the guy, dude.
Also, Schwarber is on the top 5 most home runs in the playoffs list. So see, the Phillies got overshadowed too because the LA Phillies battle is a battle people don't really know about, but that shit is real to me. Those are 2 very playoff tested teams, and again, the Phillies also have a big name. That's kind of like after this is all said and done. Like, I was super into the Mets, so I can't say that I was into this at the time, but now that it's all said and done, I do wish the Phillies had a shot at the Dodgers, just to kind of see the litmus test there. You know,
that's what I wanted. You know what I will say, Jess? I'm actually kind of going on your side because what I'm really trying to get down to is that I think what I was looking at this is that I keep saying both these teams are beatable, and now what I'm realizing, what you're saying, is that next year when everyone's healthy, they're not beatable.
Dodgers just got a whole lot less beatable.
Now, you get Kershaw back. It's fucked up, bro.
And
it's a fucked up team, but
they lose every time. That was their reputation, but now their reputation is that they play perfect playoff series and that they're weathered and that they're patient.
Nah, but see, shout out the Padres. Padres almost had him, bro. Padres almost had him.
Bro, be careful putting all your eggs in the Padres basket, man.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We're AL. We're AL representation, bro. We're an AL West, man.
I hear you guys' points too. Yeah, I mean, like it'll be sweeter to see the Dodgers. Like if the Padres bounce them next year, it'll be sweeter that bounce than even last year's bounce. So I get that.
I'm just, bro. What I'm seeing here is it's LeBron, bro. This reminds me so much of LeBron because you see a guy who is the potential so high, then the hate is so crazy and never won for so long, but will get there, but would still get hated on. So this is why it's so interesting because it's like you get there, you carry your shit, still get hated. Well, actually, it's so different because LeBron didn't have anybody on his team. So I'm gonna drop that point. But let me say this last thing, Jess. Winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners, man. That's just is what it is, man. We're a Mariners podcast through and through. What's Dan Wilson going to say to the boys, man?
So what do we focus on?
They say we only play the Dodgers 2 times a year, man. We don't give a fuck about them boys. They said Shohei ain't even in our league.
That's what I've been saying.
Shohei ain't even in our fucking division anymore, bro. God bless. Thank the Lord. Hallelujah, man.
Hey guys,
and Mike Trout better be out here too.
It's okay. We can disagree.
Bro, I can't care about a national league
your
team.
hate for the Angels is overshadowing.
I can't care about a National League team until my team can at least get to the championship series. Then I can start worrying about who we might play in the fucking World Series. Just like Tobe said, I could fucking care less about a team we play twice a year.
Yeah, we're talking locker room.
Well, in 4 years, when the Dodgers win their 4th World Series.
I just love Jess. It's like the thing I find so it makes sense to me, but it's so funny is that you're like
minimum
the
3
time
feet.
The time Ohtani turned into Darth Vader is this year, except the last 4 years when he completely shit on the Mariners in our division, and you're just like, this guy's a boy, man. And you're like, the time that now he's Darth Vader, you're like, dude, we don't even. He's just on, which I get because you're like.
He might as well wear pinstripes. That's what I was saying on the chat. He might as well. I meant to say he looked good in pinstripes. He might as well be wearing pinstripes.
See, we're Griffey boys, man. See, that's what the internet needs to understand,
I get
dude.
It.
Griffey made it. Griffey made it. But see, Griffey made a statement. So this Northwest boys, they understand. Griffey said he'll never play for the Yankees ever, and he's stuck with the core fans.
What did he say about playing for the Yankees West, though?
The Dodgers? Griffey would probably play for the Dodgers, dude. I can see that. I don't know. I could easily see that if, I don't know, his dad was from LA. I don't know.
Yeah.
He probably look good in the fucking blue. He probably look good in pinstripes. Everybody looks good in pinstripes. Besides, I will say, Verdugo, that's pretty funny. I was like, damn, dude. You did look kind of better in Boston. It's kind of funny that this whole thing kind of died over.
Yeah, some people need beards because their chin is just weird.
So funny.
It just...
Miracle's kind of one of those guys,
go, man. You're gonna let. They need to let that go. You can let Jazz rock the ice, hanging out of his shirt, but you can't let a motherfucker grow a beard. Like that's just so.
I explained it. I explained it to Steph tonight, and I was like, she didn't know that, and she was like, "That's one of the craziest things I've ever heard." And I was like trying to explain it, and I was like, "Yeah, I mean it's Steinbrenner. It's like Legacy, and there's a guy that they signed for a week this year that had really long hair and a beard, and then he got cut a week later, and he had to shave it. It's like yeah, there's not really an explanation for it. I don't know. It's like it's just an interesting thing, but." I don't know. That's why baseball, man. That's why I love you guys, man. You guys put me back into the game. I can't appreciate you guys enough, dude.
Yeah, man.
It's
love
just
you
the
too.
most beautiful game. It's so good.
Love you too,
It's
dude.
so fucking funny, dude. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, until like just. Yeah, no, I agree. And like we got one really good game from this World Series, and I'm with you. The drama never ends. As my girlfriend always says, it's soap operas for men, you know. So yeah, I don't
It's
know,
true,
man.
dude. It's true.
I,
I mean, we
just
watch a lot of sports, bro, and it's just like Brown Bear said earlier. It's even though it's so individual, it
Yeah.
is by far the most team sport. Weirdly enough, that's why I think it's such an interesting sport. Because all the other sports, you have to pass. You got to pass. Every sport, you have to pass to your teammate. Baseball is probably the only other sport you don't ever pass unless you're
yeah,
on
but a
defense. and
walk is a lot
so-
like a pass if you think about it.
Yep, exactly. There's everything's like a pass in baseball, but you don't physically pass unless you're on defense. But it's like Garrett Cole. It's like, dude,
That
run
was
to
one
fucking
for the
first,
ages.
man.
One for the ages for sure. Well, we'll pick this up, man. This is it for us for season 5. It's been a good one, and yeah,
let's try and get some in over the off season. Though that'd be fun.
Yeah, we definitely
Yeah.
will and should.
Some
Maybe-
TTPs.
I was thinking maybe we should cut a sub channel, a GeoGuess sub channel is in the mix. So fans, look out for that. We might have that in the.
Love it. Spring training's up in the air too.
Yeah, that's. Oh, you're going back. You going back?
We're all going back, baby.
Oh, nice, nice Peoria. Well,
I mean you, and Brown Bear, maybe, and me.
We're
doing
going
some
to
on the
Peoria,
ground.
Arizona.
Maybe.
Not for spring training, just to hang out on regular days.
Just to see what the fields are looking like, dude. Yeah, just how about the grounds crew.
Hey, man. Let's just say when we started this podcast, we weren't what they call playoff ready. But now, 5 seasons in, we've dealt with our fair share of technical difficulties, aka cracks in the floodgates.
Wait, can I say?
That's
Can
what
we
it's
have
all
to?
about,
We have to say one thing though.
Mm-hmm. What do we have to say?
Scott Service. Your tenure was great. We'll never hear your name again. But you were a great guy, dude. You're a good guy. We love the Mariners fan. Love you, Scott. If you're ever watching this, if you ever just look up Mariners podcast in 10 years, Scott, which I know you probably will, to see how the people felt. Scott, you're a good guy, man, but
You were bad at your job, according
bad
to
at your job. Yeah, you're not. Yeah,
He was good.
Scott gets a bad
He's
rap,
good.
man.
he gets a bad rap.
Got blamed for that shit. And
Yeah, we got to give him a little moment. That's our boy. We like Scott, but someone had to
RIP.
go down.
Do you think
RIP.
Someone's got to go down with the ship, man. Someone's got to go down with the ship, dude. Just
for someone who has one of the most iconic Yankee moments of all time in Aaron Boone, he
Yeah.
probably hates Yankee fans at this point in his life because tomorrow morning he's gonna have to wake up to all this fucking bullshit. You know,
You know what's
he's just
you know what-
probably sick of the shit. If you really,
Well, you know what's
think about
what's interesting. You know what's interesting, Jess, is I was gonna text this to the chat. The earliest 2 baseball memories I genuinely have that I remember, I remember obviously watching the VHS on 95. I kind of remember being there, but I don't remember the plays. But that ones that I physically remember watching is Luis Gonzalez single off the Yankees and Aaron Boone's home run. Like, I physically remember watching those,
Those
which
were
is
big.
so funny that they both have to do with the Yankees. And I was like, wow, y'all can't even, so funny. So I'm like, this is, the Yankees are an
The
interesting
team that you
dynamic.
love to
Yeah.
hate,
Yeah, exactly.
aka the Dodgers of old.
the Dodgers of old.
I'm telling you, in 10
the
years,
New-
we're
the
all
New
going to
York
be talking about
Rays.
the Dodgers, just like we talk about the
Proto-Dodgers.
Yankees.
The
Yeah.
proto
They're we call them the New York Devil Rays nowadays. Bro. They fucking put in Nestor in the 9th, bro. What are we doing, dude?
I
You
thought that
think
was
Nestor,
bizarre.
bro? That's tough, bro. Nestor's that's tough. Nestor's like, damn. Nestor's stuff don't play as a
He didn't
reliever.
even do a leg crook. He like didn't even
Yeah,
do one of
yeah.
those little like like he could. That's why you put him in the ninth so he can do a little What did he do?
Give him a little,
Didn't he do the? Remember, didn't he do the fake? He like did a fake.
He did a fake throw. Like,
it
it was like a little weird like flick of the wrist like that. Like,
he did the shot fake.
yeah, it's so weird.
All right,
I remember he
dumb.
did the super leg kick against Otani. Otani said, "Tip of the hat." He said,
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
He said, "I will bomb you if you throw me a fastball. Though. I'll absolutely crush you if you dare throw me a fastball." In the
I feel like Otani probably used to that. Like that's a thing from like Japan. I feel like is the messing with the timing.
Yeah,
dude, total nod. Which that's why I always liked Nestor. I was like, that's so. I think genuinely Otani was like, yeah, that's tight. I fuck with this guy. And then Nestor, I think, got a lot of that swag from. But I think like this is why I'm saying, man, not to keep this pod going, but the legacy thing for the Yanks is tough, dude. Because like, imagine, bro, you're a kid, all your favorite stars just got fucking rocked in the postseason, dude. Except for Soto.
Well, that's baseball, kids.
Garrett Cole just gave up a 5-0 fucking lead.
I hope
We've been
nobody
talking about how much this
idolizes Garrett
guy's
Cole.
fucking ass, bro. Garrett Cole's top selling card is $200 or whatever the fuck it was, bro. That was the most insane shit I've ever seen, bro.
yeah.
His top-selling
Yankees
card
fans can
was
cry
like-
me a fucking river. I mean, I'm a Mariners fan, so yeah. Oh, you're fucking 7'10", 350-pound slugger missed a catch in center field. Boo fucking who. Why didn't you get more fans to pry balls out of people's glove? I mean, it was tough to root for either side for me. Because I'm not a huge Yankee guy.
You're real.
I am
You're real.
really
You're real.
becoming a non-believer in the Dodgers. I hate the new Dodgers look. So yeah, it's tough. But no, I think legacy, Judge is now looked at as bad in the playoffs. And they were trying to give that title to Mookie, which is insane because when he was on the Red Sox, he was nasty in the playoffs.
That's a great point we need to bring up. Wow.
So it's very
Fully
easy
redeemed.
that you become bad in the playoffs because you go 0 for 10. And
Dude, he was like 0 for 40. He's like 0 for 29 or something like that before that, yeah.
Yeah, but even when people were saying that, like, he's just historically bad in the playoffs, I'm like, we're talking about the guy who almost single-handedly won a World Series for a team.
Well, you know what's interesting? Shout out John Smoltz. Shout out all of the new TNT cast, which we love. You know, the fucking A-Rod, Big Poppy, fucking Cheat. All of the, like, real dogs always have the same take, which is so interesting, is that they always say the same thing. They're like, the postseason's so tough because it's small sample size and it gets over exposed to, like, how important it is. And it's interesting because as a fan, because you're like, well, that's the most important thing. So, of course. But, like, as a player, you kind of get in the mind state where you're like, damn, it is real. Because you're like, it's fucked up because it's not just like, you know, fucking throwing a fucking 10-yard pass or, like, shooting a jump shot. It's like, it's like you go 0 for 29 and then you look like the worst postseason player ever. Then you hit 2 home runs and everyone's like, oh, yeah, you're good now. Like, it's like, you give up a fucking home run to Soto, and he said, I'm all over that guy. Like, where's that guy? What the fuck? That guy on fucking Cleveland's having a tough offseason. He's like, fuck.
The length of the postseason can be like a normal period of a slump in the regular season, too. So you just try not to slump in that small sample size of games.
It's tough. That's why Stanton is so insane to me. Stanton is such a freak, dude.
Some people just built for the lights, I guess.
Okay, last question. I'm not trying to keep it on, but Manfred rule in postseason. When is it gonna end? Is it ever gonna end?
There is no Manfred rule.
Yeah, they don't do it in the postseason.
Really?
The Ghost Runner?
Well, that's on me. Motherfucker said he's locked into the postseason. What the hell? That's embarrassing as fuck. Cut that part out. Cut that part out. The episode's already damn fuck. That's so embarrassing.
Ended
Wow.
on that.
I'm sorry. When did they stop that? They stopped that, but they did have it though, right? At one point.
I think the first season, the COVID season, they did, and then when they like made it an official thing, they said it's going to be in the regular season, but not in the postseason.
Okay. The only reason I mentioned that is because the Soto home run was off. Okay, I was trying to make it easier for that guy, but yeah, no, that's fucked up.
The Soto home run was in the 9th, though, Tobe.
No, it was
And
bottom
then-
of the 10th. No, it was bottom of the 10th.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah, because they went up 1. That's why that shit was crazy. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, Tobe doesn't watch extra innings. You just watch the 9.
I don't even fucking watch the games, bro. I'm just a vibe
Why would
guy.
I watch the extra? I
I'm
watch
just
it
a
on
Dodgers
TikTok.
guy, bro.
Tobe
I just don't like-
doesn't watch the game. He just watches the TikTok clips of it.
Yeah, makes it. Yeah, and I'll tell you this, man.
Yes.
I'm a Dodgers fan. Now and first and foremost, this is a Dodgers podcast.
Snooze fest.
Snooze fest.
I thought Mookie was your boy, bro. Who's your boy now, Jess? Who's your boy of boys? Who's your favorite player in the league?
You can be my boy, but if you win a World Series without them and you're not the Mariners, then you automatically become less of my boy. That's just reality.
So who's your
that's
boy?
actually
Who's
not
your
true.
favorite player?
J
Who's your
Rams
favorite-
is boy, man. We all know that.
True. I think Devers
No, it's
too.
Devers. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
meant. Devers.
Yeah. We love Devs.
Thank
They're
you for
very similar players in my mind.
They are. They probably. Damn. Could you imagine, bro? Blunt rotation, J Ram, fucking Devs, dude. Who else would you throw? Third person. Blunt rotation.
Garrett Cole because he's locked in. That's a roommate.
Jay Flair. Nah, you kidding me? Your third boy is Jay Flair, Jess. Crazy you switched on the Dodgers. We're going to bring up the pods next season, bro. We're gonna Jess was Dodgers fan the whole way through. Loves Jay Flair. Love Mookie the entire
Loves
time.
Grateful Dead. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Nah, I love it, though. I
How
love
quick
it.
they switch. Right once you make it to the top, how quick do they switch? Me. I switched up on.
Hey, I mean, dude, you're true and true. These colors don't run. They also don't win. Mariners, baby. Gray sleeve boys.
Yeah, let's
Teal
end
sleeve
on that.
boys.
Hey, I'll say
Let's
this,
end
dog.
on that
Mariners
note,
fan. Yeah,
yeah.
only way to get experience in the World Series, make a World Series. So, whether you're a Yankees fan or a
Cheers.
Dodgers fan,
Cheers
I'm
to that.
serious. At least you're in there.
Cheers to that.
At least you're in it.
Love you,
real.
boys.
Yeah, cheers.
Some-
man.
You too, bro. Love you.
A
guys.
lot of things happen. This is amazing.